Good morning. It's turned out nice again. It's Wednesday, the 9th of June, 2021, and you're watching KopTalk.tv in association with footballclubshares.com, where you can buy real shares in real football clubs. That's right, footballclubshares.com. How you doing, guys? You all right, yeah? I was going to say it's early, and it's not really. It's 10:30 in the morning. But it feels early to me. I feel a bit tired today. I just thought we'd have a little bit of a catch up, really, on transfer claims and things like this. Now, if you listen to the KopTalk podcast, you might not want to watch this video because it's more or less we're going to be going over stuff that we've talked about this week. If you don't listen to the KopTalk podcast and you enjoy my video content, I think you'd enjoy the podcast. I tried to do an episode Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but this time of year is a bit strange now because obviously we've got the Euros and it's going to go quiet. So I'm not really sure there'll be an episode today, but the KopTalk podcast, you'll find it on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, just any decent podcast app. And it's quite popular, and we go over all the different, claims that are being made each day. And one of them yesterday, for example, was about this Patson Daka. And apparently he will be announced as a Liverpool player this week, if you believe the Zambian Observer. Obviously, the 22-year-old has been linked with us considerably. And I actually do think that Liverpool are sniffing around him. I do think that. Because I think his valuation was around the 20 million mark, maybe a little bit less, I can't remember. And obviously there's the guy Vlahovic, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Vlahovic, that's him, at Fiorentina. He's an outstanding player, and we know that Liverpool have been tracking him. We know that Liverpool have had scouts watching him and still do. The problem there is the valuation. So you're looking at double minimum of what you would pay for Daka. Now there's quite a few clubs interested in Daka. Well, there is the other boy as well. But no one seems to be making a move for Vlahovic at the moment. There's been a lot of suggestions that Daka wants to go to the UK, to England, to try himself in our league, in the Premier League. Now, obviously, he plays for Red Bull Salzburg, and we've got a good relationship with them. I think that helps. And I think that you should keep an eye on this one. I really do. Whether or not he'll be announced as a Liverpool player this week, I'm not so sure. It depends whether you trust the Zambian Observer. So I want you to listen, for Daka. I want you to listen to Vlahovic as well. Vlahovic, I'd like either of them, but I do like that Vlahovic. I think he's pretty cool. So we'll have to see what happens this week. Another name that keeps cropping up is Yuri Tielemans. Okay, you know what I'm like for pronouncing names. You know who I mean. The only thing is there. And again, this is a player that we know the boss likes. I think again the financial side of that could be too much for us at the moment. I will put a disclaimer in there and say that it depends on our other transfer business. If Liverpool are just going to go out and sign one more player this summer, then they could finance a deal like that. But I think that what I've been trying to explain on the podcast is you've got to imagine having a list, yeah, and on this piece of paper, on this list, is all these different names I'm telling you. And I have no idea who we will sign from that list. You have no idea who will sign from that list. And I'm telling you right now, Jurgen Klopp has no idea either. And I think it all depends on which one of those deals come off, So do you go for a couple of players a little bit cheaper? Then if you do, you can't go for Tielemans, for example. Or if you can't get them couple of players that are cheaper, then maybe you do go for a bigger fish. Does that make sense? So, although Vlahovic, Tielemans are probably a little bit more expensive than we would like to do business for at the moment, I think it depends on what other deals happen and also who we sell. Because if we start selling players, that makes a big difference as well. So, all of these names, they are on a piece of paper. They're on a list of possibles, potentials. And we'll just have to wait and see what comes off. Now, Tielemans would be a fantastic signing, as Brendan Rodgers would say, but I don't think it would come cheap. I think it would be a hard deal to do. But if Liverpool want to show some clout, they need to go and sign players like that. And then we've obviously got Bissouma at Brighton. heavily linked with Arsenal at the moment. Now, so you look at Dakar and Vlahovic. If you were to say one of those, who would you think? You'd say, well, probably Dakar because he's cheaper. And then you look at Tielemans and Bissouma, and I would say the same thing. I'd say, well, Bissouma is like possibly more likely because it would probably be an easier deal to negotiate. And again, it would be a great signing. These are all very good players in their own rights, guys. They're all very good players. The other one, of course, is the lad at Leeds, Rafinha. Now, I haven't seen anything. Let's have a look. Rafinha. It's early morning. I haven't really looked at today's claims or anything like that. It's far too early for me to even be awake right now. For some reason, I'm fucking shattered. Yes, that's right. So yesterday on the podcast, we discussed a potential offer that would include Harry Wilson for Rafinha. Now, you know, Rafinha is a fantastic player. Harry Wilson, you know, what would the valuation be of him included in any such deal? I think that would interest Leeds United. Well, I think Harry Wilson would, but I'm not sure that they would be looking at getting rid of Rafinha. Manchester United also, of course, linked with him. And I don't know, I think that one looks a bit tricky, mate. I don't know, what do you think? I really want your opinions, guys, you know? Like, I sit here and I talk to you guys, and this is why when we do the podcast, I like to get the emails. I like you guys to comment on the videos, because I like to see what you're thinking. And like, sometimes I think, am I on my own with that? Or sometimes you guys say something, and I think, oh, I never thought of that. So I think all of these players, you know, Bissouma, Rafinha, Tielemans, Vlahovic, Dakar, I think all of those players are genuine targets. I really do. But we can't sign all of them. So like I say, it depends on which you can make happen. The valuations of those players, you know. And maybe you sign one of the cheaper players and you go, well, I definitely can't go and get Tielemans now as well. So there's all of that. But of course, it is also very relevant in terms of who we sell. I'm going to shit on my t-shirt. What the fuck's that? Is that an all? Can't be doing that. Fuck off. So yeah, common sense really, I think. But it's just a few people keep saying, what do you think about this, that and the other? You know, like normally you see all these players linked, loads of players linked. And we'll all go, what a load of rubbish, we can't be interested in everyone. But you know what? I actually think every single player I've mentioned there is definitely on our radar. And it wouldn't surprise me if any of them were signed. It just wouldn't. It's just down to the cost. And, if you were Manchester City, you'd probably be going out and getting Vlahovic like that. You know, we go and get Vlahovic and it changes the balance of everything. Maybe you couldn't then bring in, another player. Nevertheless, I'm upbeat and I'm looking forward to the Euros. I don't know about you guys. Let me know if you're looking forward to the Euros, if you're supporting anyone, who you think will win. I want a bet on the Euros. And people keep saying to me, Dunk, who do you reckon will win? And I'm like, I'm winging it. I'm like, France, because I don't know. I haven't followed football for ages, if I'm honest with you, because of football fans being knocked out of the stadiums. But they're coming back now, aren't they? You know, so I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to I love tournaments, mate. The major tournaments, only the major ones, only the Euros and the World Cup. The friendlies don't interest me nothing, and neither does that other. What's that other competition? The Nations League or some. I ain't watching any of that rubbish. Nah, Euros and World Cup for me. There was another claim yesterday that Liverpool had tabled a bid for Lorenzo Pellegrini. He's a Roma midfielder, and this was reported by Corriere dello Sport in Italy, claiming that Liverpool had offered £25.8 million to sign him. And I think that's the valuation of his release clause. Yeah, it says here, it was reported last week that Pellegrini had a release clause of £25.8 million in his contract. But there's no suggestion that he was looking to, for a move to Liverpool or anywhere else. That sort of money would be a great addition. But it doesn't seem like he wants to move away from Roma. And even if he did, I just think that, this is a claim. This is a bold claim by Corriere dello Sport saying that we have made an offer for him. But I don't think we have. I don't know what you think. Nobody credible that I talk to seems to think that that's the case anyway. And there's even more, really. John Barnes was saying earlier this week that he thinks Liverpool should sign Ousmane Dembele instead of Sancho. Well, first of all, we're not going to go for Sancho, are we? Sancho's too expensive. And, if you'd have asked me a few months ago, oh, fuck, it's back again, that shitty little thing. What is that? I can't do it when the camera's the wrong way around. Is it? It's an O! Fucking trampy bastard. Let me put my fucking mask on it. There we go. Look, their new designer top there. Look. Alright, that's going in fucking bin. Then you won't see this one again. Look, last time you'll see it. Champion. What was he saying? Sancho, too expensive, guys. Oh, if you'd have asked me a few months... Well, my phone's never stopped. If you'd have asked me a few months ago, who would you, like a marquee signing be in the summer, I would have said nobody. No, I would have said if the front three had broke up, then I would have thought we might go for Sancho. But the front three hasn't been broken up, and I don't think it will. I don't think Mo Salah will get his move to Real Madrid. I don't think so. Do you guys? I don't think so. And it wouldn't surprise me if he extended his contract with Liverpool. I think the owners would like to get some news out like that, and we'll then be told that he never wanted to leave and all that. We we always get all that, don't we? Look, I like Mo. I was starting to lose a bit of faith in him, to be honest with you, when he did start all that flirting with the Spanish clubs and that. But I've seen how good he was, particularly towards the end of the second half of the season or later towards the end of the season, and it just reminded me how good he was, and I should stop being so pathetic. So I'd like Mo to stay. I'd like the front three to stay. I think we'll get them front three for another season. What do you guys think on that front? And Sancho, like I say, I think if we'd have sold Salah, for example, then maybe we would go for someone like Sancho. I did see that, but it then went quiet for a few months. We stopped talking about them things, and now that the transfer window's open and all the speculations on, we've got Manchester United trying to sign Sancho, and again, the figures like 100 million and stuff, like Liverpool aren't going to do that, and I wouldn't want them to do that. Would you? Maybe you would. I wouldn't. I don't think he's worth that, to be honest. And I think there was a suggestion yesterday or the day before that his club were looking at maybe lowering that to 80. So they're already getting a bit squeaky bum. But I find that a bit strange, like to be lowering the price now. We've got all the Euros coming up. We've got if you hold out, don't you, on your valuation, right, for the whole of the window if you have to. This is what they did last summer, and I thought that maybe on the last day someone's arse would collapse and Man United would sign him, but they didn't. They're still in there, United. Like, they do like him, but they're not being pushed over with the fee, and I don't blame them, to be honest. I don't know about you. So anyway, Sancho's not. We ain't going anywhere near Sancho. And John Barnes, the greatest Liverpool ever, in my opinion. Oh, I've got a text. Hang on, your bet has been awarded with €5.44. Why couldn't that have been 544,000 euros? Could you imagine if that had said that then? While I was recording the video, we'd have the biggest fucking party ever, guys. Digger, the greatest, my favourite Liverpool player ever, John Barnes. He thinks we should go for Dembele, and Dembele actually is a player that we know the boss likes, and he's watched him for a long time. From memory, and I might be wrong because I deal with a lot of transfer speculation each day, I think Dembele's got a year left on his contract, and I think maybe on Monday of this week, or certainly on the front page of KopTalk.com, there's a news article about him. Yeah, Ousmane Dembele responds to transfer speculation, and that basically, without clicking on the article, from what I remember, was year left on his contract, yet to extend a new deal, in no rush to do so with Barcelona. Happy to stay where he is, but he doesn't know. There's no rush to sort things out. I would love him. How old is he? Is he 24? I can't remember how old he is. I've had to click on it now. 24, yeah, 24. Okay, right. So, anyway, that was another one. We see, I like to go through the transfer speculation on the podcast, and we, during that podcast, we would say, that doesn't sound right, or someone has said this, etc., etc. But I do, like I say, I'm going to end this video now, and like I say, you're going to see a lot of speculation regarding Tielemans, Bissouma, Daka, Vlahovic, even Rafinha maybe. And I think that when you read those articles, not the specifics, because every newspaper or every publication maybe makes different claims, but whether they're true or not, you'd have to judge that. But I do think that the actual suggestion or the link that we are interested in signing those players, 100 million % I believe we are. But I have obviously no idea of which ones would happen, if any. I mean, there's no guarantees we'll get any of them, is there? And I reckon Jurgen Klopp sat there right now thinking the same thing, going, well, what the fuck's going to happen, you know? All we do know is that Edwards will be working his magic and trying to do what's best for Liverpool Football Club. We obviously got Konate over the line nice and quick. That was good. I'm glad that was sorted. If we can start to move out some of the other players. I mean, someone said the other day to me, they said Daka won't happen unless Origi goes. It was like as straightforward as that. Like not even like we could get him and then we'll try and get him out. It was like no, for the Daka deal specifically, that name was said to me. For that to happen, Origi has to go. Now whether that's true or not, I don't know. Depressing if it is. But no, we've got to get rid of Origi. And them players that just, this. I'm not being disrespectful to them, guys. I just think that we do need to get these players out, and it's not always just like getting money in to then reinvest in another player. Obviously, that's a big part of it, but it's also, it's the salary, it's getting that wage, but it's all like relevant. It's all really important, and you've got to get them players off the wage bill. And that can free up other moves. It's not just about getting 25 million in so we can go and spend 25 million. I think that it's the wage bill is a massive factor as well. Getting them players off the wage bill. And I think that's more so to do with, the Origi and Daka suggestion, because there's no comparison between the two players. It's not like it's like for like. But that was what was said to me. So it's up to you whether you want to believe that or whatnot. And we'll just have to see, won't we, guys? We'll just have to see what happens. Anyway, I think that'll bring to a conclusion this video. I was basically just trying to, I know a lot of you don't listen to the podcast, or I'm sure you don't. I know a lot of you do. But if you don't, we are going through all of these things every day, every weekday usually. And like I say, so Tielemans, for example, is mentioned every single day. So each day we will look at the specific claim in relation to that player. It's KopTalk podcast. That's it. If you want to listen to that, all right. That's it. That's all I've got to talk to you about for now. Listen, I hope you're enjoying. I hope you enjoy the Euros. If you're interested, it's a shame if you're not interested, really, because I love international football. And I know, like, when Trent Alexander-Arnold, was ruled out, people were like, oh, nice one. I was the opposite to that. I was like, well, I want to see Liverpool players at the Euros. I want to see them up against the so-called boss players. I want them to gain experience. No, we don't want them to get injured and things like that. So I'd rather he was crocked now than during the tournament. But for me, I'm not really down with all this like club versus country shit. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd love to see England do well. Of course I would. And Spain, it's my adopted country, innit? But it's good. I just hope I don't know what it's going to be like in terms of atmosphere, that's all. And that's a deal breaker for me. If they can make it enjoying, and I don't want to hear the players fucking shouting at each other and that. It's like women's football, innit? Hey, pass me the ball. Hey. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like women's football. I don't. I'm fucking sick of it. All this fucking do-gooding shit. I can't be doing with it. I just don't like it. It's not because I don't want women to play football. I've got a daughter that I took to, soccer school when it was called soccer school. I'm not calling it soccer school. When she was like 7, 8 years of age. My girl loves football. I ain't got a problem with that. I just don't like fucking watching it. What's wrong with that? I don't like watching youth football. I just like the proper game. I like the men's game because of everything that comes with it. All the history and all that. Maybe 100 years from now, women's football will be all right, but it probably won't be, if I'm honest, guys. Maybe we should go back to doing the women's football videos. Do you remember them? Have a look on this channel at the women's football videos. Right, I'm off. What am I going to do today? I've got some bits and pieces to do. Lots of things going on behind the scenes with the website, just stuff to do with the server maintenance and things like that. Yeah, just trying to get stuff sorted, paperwork, all usual guff. If you do listen to the podcast, I don't think I'll be doing one today, guys, because I just don't think there's going to be much news, and especially while the tournament's on. I don't think there will be. I'm also going to go through this t-shirt, so I've got a hole there, and I can't be like letting my standards drop, can't be all trampy and that. Alright, I'll bugger off. Catch you in a bit, guys. Okay, drop me a comment, please. Thumbs up the video if you like it, and if you want to support my channel, I'd love it if you joined. Clicked on the join button or read the information. I guess there's information in the description. I'd love you to be a channel member. That'd mean a lot to me. And if you get the middle tier or above, you can come and join me on the members website where we hang out all day, and I can guarantee you, if you're a diehard Liverpool fan, you'd want to be in there because that's where everything's going down. So, but anyway, that's enough of the begging. Let's get on with it. Right, I'll speak to you in a bit, guys. All right, take care.